Onegai shimasu, cowboy beboppu. Not a lot of people know this about me, but I'm actually quarter English and 3/4 samurai, which makes me the perfect person to review Antoine Bowser's new co-op game, Samurai Spirit. This is my traditional samurai clothing, known as the kimchi. 3 for a tenner at Shepherd's Bush Market, would you believe? Now, most people will know Antoine Bowser from Seven Wonders, but this is much more relevant. 2008's Ghost Stories, a beautiful, fantastic co-op game about protecting a village from ghosts with your friends. So as you'd imagine, when I saw the beautiful Samurai Spirit box art, I got excited about the idea of putting these two boxes side by side and imagining what they'd talk about when I left the room. And then I received it. You ready for this? It's tiny! As you'd imagine, after this betrayal, like any reasonable human being, my first instinct was to never buy a Funforge board game ever again. Maybe never buy a board game ever again. Maybe never love again. But eventually I decided to open the box, and I'm glad I did, because this size is the first indication of this game's own samurai spirit. You see, board games all have big boxes because they're all competing for you to notice them in shops. Samurai Spirit does something harder, braver, and nobler. When you open it up, you'll find no air in its box. It takes up a minimum of space in your house or your flat, and yet everything in it is gorgeous and still feels big. And it is, of course, cheaper for you to buy and easier for the publisher to ship than those big boxes. This is a product of a distant land where players don't simply demand excellent game design, but object design too. On reflection, I'd actually like to see more of this kind of thing. If you collect DVDs or vinyl records or books, you get to own this tight little library. Board gamers, we get to own the advertisements from the shop, you know? We get a collection of logos, and I love my board game collection, I do, I love it so much, but I'd like it if it loved me as much. Anyway, what we've got here is a game openly inspired by the movie Seven Samurai, or Magnificent Seven if you've seen the cowboy version. You're all working together to protect a village full of farmhouses and barricades and families from this deck of bandits. 7 bandits per player. This is a 4-player game with 4 samurai, so 28 bandits. And on your turn, you're probably going to fight one of these bandits. You're going to draw a card off the top of the deck, you're going to look at it, and then you're basically going to play blackjack. So just like in real life, all criminals have a number from 1, 2, 3, or 4. You're going to draw one of these cards, and if you put it to the right of your player sheet, you're fighting them, and your little samurai meeple goes up here. If you ever cross this number, you are overwhelmed. And that's awful. You're out of the round. You're just going to have to stop fighting, and your friends are going to have to say things like, that's awful. But there's a twist, because some of these guys have penalties here that you suffer at the start of your turn. Like this one is destroy a barricade. If this guy's here at the start of your turn, you're just going to lose a barricade from the village. Your release valve for both of these things is these 3 icons here. When you draw a bandit, you can look at it and go, maybe I'll just put it here. Then it's out of your queue. This doesn't move, and you filled up one of these 3 slots, with the twist that you actually have to fill up these 3 slots by the end of the deck, because if you don't, you fail to protect yourself and you take a wound, or you fail to protect a farmhouse, or you fail to protect a family. All of which is relatively simple. Where things start getting complicated and possibilities start spiraling outwards from your head like the guts from a slain bandit, is that every samurai has 2 unique special powers to them. If you manage to hit your ki, if you draw a card and you go, that's wrong, you draw a card, what? Where did he go? I rigged this before the shot. You draw a card and you go, oh, yes! And then you hit your exact number. 2 things happen. First off, you remove the top card from your queue, potentially letting you fight more bandits that round. And also you trigger your character's special ability. In the case of Kikuchiyo here, you can reach over and remove a bandit in someone else's queue. The purple guy here has a really cool power. You can take the top 2 cards of the deck and flip them face up so everybody knows exactly what they're drawing for a little while. Other people just dump cards from the bandit queue straight into the graveyard. It's awesome. The other power that every guy has is something that is permanent. But on your turn, if you think it makes sense For example, Kyuchiyo here can draw twice, or this guy can look at a card and if he doesn't like it, put it back on top of the deck. You can spend your turn not drawing a card from the deck, but instead taking that card and slotting it right here. And that bandit has slipped past you. At the end of the round, you're going to check if there's fire in the bottom right-hand corner of the card, and if there is, you remove barricades and then farmhouses, but maybe you'll be fine. But what that lets you do is take your samurai's power and support another samurai, and potentially, of course, everybody can give someone their token if it all makes sense. Now that samurai is really powerful and can do whatever they need to do. It's interesting. So working together, you and your friends will send all the bandits packing, and your friends will look at you, and if you have a flair for the theatrical, like I do, you're going to tell your friends to gather up the bandits, and they'll say, we won, didn't we? And you'll say, no. We just survived the first night. And then you'll add lieutenants, number 5s, with horrible effects to the deck, one of them per player. You'll shuffle, and you'll go again, and the village will be in ruins. Your friends will look at you, hungry for respite. And you'll say, now we've angered the bosses. And you're going to add 1 boss card for every single player. Number 6, how on earth are you going to overcome that? Because you've got the lieutenants in as well. And maybe this is where you reveal, only then, Samurai Spirit's most nonsensical and most awesome rule. During the game, your characters might take wounds. When you go to take a second wound, though, instead, what happens is you remove the wound and you flip over to your animal side. Meow. Why does this happen? I have no idea. You are middle-aged, shape-shifting samurai animals, which is less catchy than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it's more awesome because your ki number is now higher, letting you fight more bandits at once. Your superpower is now an upgraded version. So, to survive the final round in a really interesting game mechanic, because if you take a 3rd wound, you find, and a 4th wound, you are dead and everybody loses the game, characters have to become their animal form to survive the bosses. You have to deliberately run low on one of your most important resources, which is your own health. Ooh. Now, this is an intriguing puzzle. You want to lose wounds, but not too many. You want to let barricades get burned to protect families, but not too many. You want to let bandits get past, but not too many. It's all risk-reward. It's all really tense. I'm worried, though, that Samurai Spirit is going to disappoint as many people as it makes really happy. You see, there's a problem in co-op board gaming that gets talked about more than anything else, and that's loud players telling other people what to do. Do you remember that scene in Seven Samurai where Toki gets told, actually, you'll probably have a 20% higher chance if you don't fight today, if you just give me your power? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that is going to happen a lot in Samurai Spirit, and it's a problem that's solved in board gaming. You know, these days we have games with hidden information. Bowser's Own Hanabi limits what players can tell each other. We have time limits. We have betrayal mechanics. Samurai Spirit has none of these things. For what it's worth, though, neither does Antoine Bowser's Ghost Stories, and that didn't stop me from loving it. Let me give you some perspective on this. All board games exist for a certain kind of person at a certain kind of time. One Night Ultimate Werewolf is one of the best games we've reviewed this year. I have a friend who hates it because he quite literally cannot lie. And similarly, Ghost Stories is a beautiful, beautiful design. I've had some of my best gaming nights ever with this game as ghosts surround the village and creep forward and players run forward and they say, I'm going to roll the dice, and everyone goes, don't roll the dice, and they roll the dice and they banish a ghost and you go, oh my god, I can't believe you got away with that, you cheeky bastard. And then you make out, you sweep the game off the table, and all of it waiting. You're just trying to survive long enough until Wu Fang, the big boss ghost, shows up. And if you can all pool your resources, run together, it doesn't even matter if you die, as long as one person manages to banish him and save the village. This is a great, great game for loud people. And that's all right, you know, because you're saving a village from the restless undead. There's not always a room for quiet people who don't really know a game. Same as how we're not going to attack Twilight Imperium for only being a great game that works for mad people. Ghost Stories is a game for loud people. And so is Samurai Spirit. What Samurai Spirit is a puzzle that players are encouraged to share and talk about. Your samurai isn't even really your samurai, but merely a tiebreaker if you disagree with the other players. This is a game for people who like arguing about what to do, who want to solve a nightmarish puzzle featuring middle-aged shape-shifting animals. And at this, it is a triumph. This box is tense, it randomizes itself, it supports anything from 1 to 7 players, there are 4 difficulty settings. It's just great, and you know what? For all that Pandemic or Dead of Winter or Battlestar Galactica support great tension throughout, they very rarely let you and your friends feel like heroes in the way that Ghost Stories or this does. So here's my final sales pitch for why you buy this game. You're playing this guy here, okay? This guy is overwhelmed. At the start of his next turn, he's going to have to pass and he'll be out of the battle. But you see something. You suggest that Katsushiro on his turn supports this character, okay? So we let a bandit through. This character then draws. It's not the card he wants, but thanks to Katsushiro's power, he can just put that on the bottom and yes! He gets the card he needs. He goes over here. He triggers his Ki. He kills this guy. He slides up. He's back to this. This guy, with his Ki, can then lose the character off the bottom of his position. He's no longer overwhelmed, and he hits his own Ki, losing another character, letting him take 1, 2, 3 cards off the top of the deck and into the graveyard, and you'll all be high-fiving each other. And you'll feel amazing, whether you go on to win the game or not. So that's who this game is for. It's for people who, you know, they want to get together, you do your press-ups, you drink your protein shakes, you play a game, and you win it. God, that sounds like fun. I'm gonna call Paul and get him to come over and play this right now. Hey, Paul, I don't know why your phone is still off, but we should totally just, you know, do the Samurai Spirit thing I was talking about with the press-ups and the... I mean, we don't have to do the press-ups, and I'll just tell you, you know, how we can win, and then, you know, you... Oh, sod it.